So Fire Force just finished airing, and honestly, this is one of my favorites. But you've seen the title, so I'll explain. I started watching Fire Force because it seemed like it had an interesting story. But it turned out to be way more than that when I noticed the creative variety of powers and the unique scenery the show takes place in. I was instantly hooked. This video I will first quickly tell you without spoiling anything if this one is worth watching or not in my opinion. I will only show you footage from the first few episodes. After that I'll go into more depth. There are some specific moments I want to talk about. But first, let me summarize the story quick. The story takes place in a world that's plagued by something called human combustion, a phenomenon that causes people to randomly turn into infernals. To fight this phenomenon, the special Fire Force was created. People with the ability to manipulate and control their flames in all different kind of ways. The main protagonist is Shinra Kusakabe, who can control fire with his feet. Together with the special Fire Force Company 8, they try to discover the cause behind this mysterious phenomenon. It's a really interesting story, and the characters are interesting because all of them use flames in very different ways. Therefore, the fight scenes are also really interesting. There are plenty of goosebump moments for sure, but there are also plenty of facepalm moments. But overall, is Fire Force worth watching? In my opinion, yes. I'm also personally really a fan of the idea of a show that's all about fire. I also for some reason got Blue Exorcist vibes when watching this one. Shinra kinda reminds me of Rin. Not only because of looks, also because they keep calling Shinra Devil and Rin is, you know, the son of Satan. They both have fire powers, you know. I might be the only one comparing these two, but anyway, I was a big Blue Exorcist fan and I became a big Fire Force fan. So if this sounds interesting, you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. And if you're still not convinced,
it has an interesting plot.
Heads up though, you can expect some fan service at very random moments. Only watch this if you're okay with that. I'm okay with that. We're interrupting this video for a segment of Please DM me if you know or are a girl that can control fire with her ass and never wears a shirt. Thank you. So now to go into more depth. Spoilers coming up. So when I started watching the show, I was immediately hooked. But one thing that's worth mentioning is the fan service in this one. Because, well, a little fan service after an intense arc with a lot of fighting is never really a problem, right? But the thing Fire Force does is add fan service in the middle of fights. And I mean in the middle of fights. Honestly, it surprised me every time. At some point you start to expect it, but it still really comes out of nowhere. I personally didn't mind it that much. I know some people did. I didn't mind it because it was always stomachy. I can't complain about that. Some moments were kind of stupid though, not gonna lie. Like that intense confrontation between Shinra and Rekka, where Shinra almost lost because he got distracted when Tamaki's clothes burned off. Understandable.
No, wait, you're fucking serious.
But a big part of the show is like this, not just with the fan service. One moment I specifically remember is when the 8th and the 5th had their big confrontation and Arthur was fighting that Infernal. And it started as an epic fight where Arthur was losing. And you're watching this like, wow, how is he going to turn the tables? What's he gonna do? How is he going to win this? Well, he realizes his sword was just in his wrong hand. And he beats him in one hit. His sword was in his wrong hand. Of course.
No, what the fuck?
Okay, I was laughing my ass off. I just... Let's continue. Moments like this happen often, especially when Tamaki is doing anything. You know, let's talk about Tamaki a little more. She's a girl that wears her Fire Force jacket usually open, and she doesn't wear a shirt, which is interesting because she has something she calls lucky lure that causes, well, venture. But knowing people often touch her on places she doesn't want to, why does she not just wear a shirt?
I think she likes it.
Or she just knows otherwise all her shirts would get ruined somehow. I don't know. But anyway, the entire season, she has almost one epic fight scene. Almost! In the beginning she did something when they escaped that building and stuff. She did something there, I guess. But her one actual fight scene turned into this.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her at this point.
But this was kind of a shame. I hope there's more she can do in season 2. She was fighting more in the first opening than in the actual show. Anyway, the villains. Another thing that some people said, and I kind of agree with, is the fact that the main villains have kind of a weak purpose. They want to change the Earth into a sun. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Their argument is that everything used to be fire, so we want to return everything to fire. I don't know about that one. Maybe you believe that 4.6 billion years ago the Earth was created with a big bang, you know, using this logic. Should there be villains that just want to destroy the entire Earth, like just like that? Back in the day it didn't exist, so. But then you have Joker, which is actually a really interesting character. And one of the most epic moments in the entire season, in my opinion, is his short fight with Show. Really short, but very intense. At this point, Joker's whole existence is still pretty much a mystery. He seems to have some connection with the scientist guy, Licht. Is that how you pronounce it? Victor. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in season 2 and figure out what their goal is. So, the kind of weak purpose villains, the Evangelist. So the kind of weak purpose villains, the Evangelist, didn't ruin the show for me because there's still enough to enjoy. So, some random thing I want to talk about, the opening. You know, the first opening was really great. I'd have to say, it was fire! Lit! You know, there's people who only comment fire emojis on songs. That's what I mean. You know, fire!
No, I'm not the first person making this joke.
This first opening is one of those openings you don't skip because it's good and it doesn't have spoilers. It also shows Tamaki fighting. She only does that in the first opening pretty much. But it's really good.
Fucking goosebumps.
But then there's the second opening. The second opening is kind of, I would call it a bold move. A lot of people agree this one is worse than the first one. I don't really care about openings that much, but I really like the first one. And when you see the second one for the first time, it kind of confuses you, you know? You would think that's because of the song, but it also has to do with the animation. The animation is kind of off. Welcome to a segment I'd like to call giving my opinion on an opening song, even though no one asked for that. Please don't go away. The song has good moments and objectively it's not a bad song. But at some point the singer just starts to burp, like, and when you think he's done, he starts to throw up. I'm just kidding, guys. I know what metal is. If you just listen to the song with its original music video, you notice it's not that bad. Actually, it's really good. I guess it just depends on the fact if you're a metal fan or not. I guess I'm personally not. I appreciate some scream hip hop sometimes. You know, some Scarlord and some NASCAR Alo. You will get swept up. But only if I'm really mad. Usually it doesn't fit my mood. But that's just hip hop. Actual metal is not my shit. Metal just isn't for everyone, and that's okay. When it's an anime opening song, people are gonna argue about it though. Maybe with better animation it could have been a better opening. But you know, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just the opening. I like the show either way. But the first opening,
so good.
Yeah, enough about the music. Now to get into the real meat, the big arguments. I saw a lot of people arguing about the fan service in this one. Yeah, like I said before, I don't mind it. Some of it was kind of stupid, but you know, I thought it was funny. I do understand it though if you really wanted to take this role and this concept very seriously. Some of it was a bit too random, but I honestly feel like there were plenty of very serious moments that weren't ruined. Not every time something stupid happened. That's also how, when it happened, it still surprised me. And I don't know, I just didn't mind it. But yeah, that's it. That's all. I said big arguments, they weren't really that big. But
Thanks for watching, guys.
I'll keep up the weekly uploads. So please subscribe. It's a new channel. Subscribe. And now I'm gonna learn Inferno on piano. I will try.